Hey everyone, it's John and Katrina from Trailblazing Retirement here walking on the trail today at Oclotney River State Park. Beautiful day, doing a little bit of camping, a little bit of hiking. So wanted to bring you guys along with us and just have a conversation.
Yeah. So today we wanted to talk to you a little bit about staying healthy in retirement and leading up to retirement. So we haven't retired yet, but we will be in the next 2.5 years or so, a little bit around that. Well, sometime soon we're going to be retiring
as soon as possible
in the next few years, but we're trying to stay healthy now, and we think that health is the real wealth, right? It's the most important aspect of life, is trying to maintain our health. So we wanted to talk to you about maybe some keys that can help you to stay healthy in your retirement.
Absolutely. So, the first thing we want to talk about is physical activity. Both me and Katrina are in our 50s now. Your body's kind of slow down naturally, as we age a little bit. But, the big thing for us is just staying active, keeping your bodies moving, like what we're doing here today. That's the thing. You don't want to get sedentary. Both of us have office jobs, and so it can get real easy to just sit around and just not move. And that's the biggest thing we're trying not to do at this point is, we want to stay active. We want to be able to, by the time we, in the next couple of years, we love what we're doing right now. We want to still be able to do this. So, even as we're working right now, we still do small things that kind of keep our bodies moving, keep active. And so I'll let Katrina talk a little bit more about that.
So like what we're doing, we're out here walking right now. Let's talk about staying healthy and moving our bodies. We just really both enjoy getting out, and nature is one of our favorite things to do, and it's just so good for you to get outside and move. And we don't ever want to get to where we're just sitting and not wanting to move our bodies every day. So the recommendation for moving in your older age, or the recommendation for moving for anyone is really to try to get 150 minutes of exercise a week, which is like 30 minutes, five times a day. So,
just 5 times a week.
Oh, what did I say? 5 times a day. Get out there and get after it, y'all. Yeah. So it's 30 minutes, 5 times a week, right? Yes. So, but just like setting up a routine, we talked about, like, once we retire, we really want to make that a everyday kind of occurrence for us, a time that we just get outside and walk for at least 30 minutes every day.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be, you join in a gym or anything like that. It's little things, I'll get up from my desk at work and just, move around a little bit. One of the tricks I use is I have like a water bottle, and I just go to the water fountain and fill it up a few times a day. And that, of course, that forces you to have to go to the bathroom a little bit more, but it kind of forces you to kind of get up and move around. We get busy with our work, and we sometimes forget to get up and move around. So that's one of the little tricks that I use.
So definitely moving your body. And then there's like 4 different areas of physical activity you really should try to focus on, especially as you get older. The first one is cardio. So getting out and getting like moderate exercise, getting your heart rate, your heartbeat up, maybe you're running up some stairs or walking up some stairs, whatever it might be. And then also strength training, which is super important, especially for women. Talking to you ladies out there, you need to pick up heavy things, lift, make your muscles strong, because it's going to help your bones be strong. It's going to help you live longer. So that strength training is really important, not just for men, especially for women. And then,
so, and I wanted to go back a little bit on what Katrina was saying there, talking about stairs. That's one of the little things you can do if you're able to. It's real easy, especially if you work in a building or something that has elevators. The building I work in has 4 flights or 4 stories. And so there's days where I'm like, man, I just don't feel like I just take the elevator. But, I try to get into a habit of taking the stairs as much as possible. Just little things like that just, if you start doing that a couple times a day, you don't realize that's really good for you. So
yeah, and just kind of doing the thing that's a little bit harder. Park a little bit farther away from the grocery store. Carry the groceries if you can. He's like, you're crazy. I'm always like trying to carry as many groceries as I can because I know it's making me stronger.
Yeah.
So the next two things with physical activity and exercise are balance and flexibility. So real quick on balance, as you get older, you tip over easier, right? And like one of the leading causes of older individuals is actually causation from falling, like breaking a hip or breaking a bone in your body, and it's really hard to recover from a broken hip as you get older. So balance is really important. So you want to keep from falling down. So getting that balance, you can do yoga, you can do Tai Chi? Is that it? I don't know. There's something like Tai Chi or something like that you can do. But what I do, I don't do either one of those. What I do is I literally just stand on one foot when I'm brushing my teeth every day. So every time I brush my teeth, when I'm brushing my top teeth, I stand on one foot. And then when I'm brushing my bottom teeth, I stand on the other. And that motion of brushing and standing on one foot, it really builds your balance. So that's just an easy way you can build that in.
Yeah. And so that goes into the, just little things. It doesn't, like I say, you don't have to join a gym. You don't have to do all these, these things, buying the right, sports gear, doing anything like that. It's just small little things that you can do. And what Katrina's talking about there is just kind of building your core. You want to have a good core, and it forces you to, your body to, that's what's going to strengthen your whole body at that point. And especially, as we get older like that, you want to keep your core strong. So sorry, I think I'm hearing something out in the woods out here. So just in case you guys need to know where we're at, I'm going to do it. We'll do a little spin here.
Oh, don't spin too fast. It'll make people sick. Here, I'll let you spin.
Beautiful Ochlockonee River State Park, which is in North Florida. So,
and it's a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day. So we're down here for the day. We're camping for the night. So yeah, as you can see, it's beautiful out here. We love this hiking. We try to get out as much as we can. So to kind of continue, the fourth physical activity we want to talk about is flexibility. This is a big one, especially for me. I'm not the most flexible person, so that's something I've tried to work on as I've gotten older. And I need to get better at it. I'm by no means, really good at stretching every day and flexibility. So, it's one of those things that, I just need to try to make a habit of. And Katrina's really good at that. And so, one of the big things that we talk about is just building that habit, building it into your routine every day. So
yeah, like from Atomic Habits, which I have a video about that book. If you haven't watched it yet, please watch it. But the Atomic Habits says like building small habits in every day and building on those, making it easy for yourself. Don't have big grand plans of like, I'm going to go to the gym 7 days a week and do all these crazy things. Do something that you can literally easily do every day. So I stretch every morning that I wake up, I stretch. So that's like my morning routine. I stretch my body, and then I do my exercise, my strength exercises first thing in the morning. So I just want to make sure, and I build on that too. So as I go along, I try to do a little bit more, make it, a little bit heavier weight, just to continue to grow and get like 1% better every single day. And it makes it easy and a routine, a part of your everyday life.
Yep.
All right. So the second big item to stay healthy in early retirement or pre-retirement training, or once you've already retired, is nutrition and diet. So that's a huge part of staying healthy, just eating healthy. And it's hard. I'm going to say it's hard to eat healthy in our society today because there's so much processed food out there. So what we're trying to do is just try to avoid as much as we can processed foods. Anything that has bags and barcodes, we try to avoid those. And when we are meal planning, so we do meal planning each week, and we try to use whole ingredients, so vegetables, meats, and try to stay away from a lot of starchy foods,
sugar.
Yeah, stay away.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
Not to interrupt, but yeah, that's my weakness is sweets, and so that's a challenge for me. But the big thing for us is you know, when we go to the grocery store now, we try not to get any of that. So, you know, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. You know, if it's around the house, if we have it around the house, we used to get the little Debbie little sweets and all that, you know, especially when the girls were still living with us. And so, you know, that was definitely my weakness. So now we just try not to have any of that stuff around the house. So,
yeah, that helps with like not having to have such willpower, right? It's about your environment, setting your environment up for the most success. So not having all that junk food around, and you know, trying to stay away from people who are always like, he has somebody at work who always has candy on their desk. I'm like, yes, avoid it. But it's important to stay away from all that processed food and sugars, because really our health is severely impacted by our blood sugar levels and insulin, the amount of insulin that we have. So it's really hard to avoid. Like, it's in everything. They put sugar in everything because sugar gives you a dopamine hit. It gives you that little high, and you want to eat more, and you don't get satisfied with it. So companies know that, so they add sugar to almost everything. So if you look at things that you think are actually healthy, look on the back. If you see fructose, high, you know, they have all these names for it, dextrose, but it's sugar, and it's in there to get you addicted to it, to get you to eat more of it. So we just try to get like whole foods, fruits, vegetables.
Like what Katrina's talking about there. Next time, if you do have a bag of chips, take a look at the ingredients in the back. You'll see sugar.
That's one of the top 3.
It's one of the top 3. You don't necessarily think of sugar being in like potato chips, but that's one of the things that, you know, these producers, you know, they use to get you addicted to chips. And so, you know, you just don't realize that, but that's, you know, that it's there. So just be careful.
Yeah. And we're not coming after chips alone. I mean, I love chips, but I mean, because they're probably because they have sugar in them, but I mean, there's just so many of our foods that are out there these days that are just not very good for us.
That's for sure.
So we just learn more about it. I encourage you to dive into like trying to learn more about nutrition and healthy eating. And that's going to really help you to stay healthy in your retirement and enjoy getting out and having lovely walks like we're doing today.
For sure. Yeah, the third key to healthy living we want to talk about is kind of your mental or emotional health. And so I know for me, and probably for a lot of you guys out there and ladies, you know, you can get caught up in work, stress. I mean, it's, you know, the past, I know for me, and Katrina's the same, past couple of weeks with our jobs have been pretty stressful. And so, you know, one of the things that helps me just personally is, you know, we have a small gym at work. I'll get up there, and, you know, if I can get up there, you know, during my lunch, or, you know, just a half hour during the day, just make time to do something like that. And like I say, it doesn't have to be a gym. Heck, just getting out and walking somewhere, you know, take a half hour, even if you're busy during the day, make a point to get up from your desk or whatever you're doing, if you can, and just get out, get away from work, get your mind off of it. And, you know, that's going to help your mental health. You may not think that just, you know, getting out there, even if it's 10 or 15 minutes, you know, just doing something, get your mind off your work. And so, yeah, I mean, that's some of the things that work for me. I get out, walk when I can. Like I say, I'm fortunate where I work at. We do have a small gym. So I try to, you know, a couple days a week at the very least, try to get up there and do a little bit of strength training, just basically just moving my body around. I'm not a bodybuilder or lifting too heavy weights by any means, but just moving my body just helps me and helps my physical or my emotional health for sure.
He did lift weights when he was in high school.
That's a long time ago.
All right, so we found a pond on our little trail here. So I just wanted to add to what John was saying about you know, being at work and getting outside, weather permitting. I try to do that anytime I'm at work. I just take a walk. There's like a little neighborhood near my work, and I just go walk down the street. And I know people probably think I'm crazy, but it really helps with my stress. It helps just me to reconnect with nature and, you know, getting some vitamin D. So that's all good for you. So yeah, just try to get outside and walk around, or just do some sort of physical activity. sometime during the day when you're working, if you're feeling stressed, and that can help you with that emotional and mental well-being. And then a couple other things that are really important to your emotional and mental well-being. There's actually three things, and we actually have a video about it. So go and watch that. It is on the three keys to having a fulfilling retirement. So we'll link that video. So please go watch it. But just a quick snapshot of that is there are three things that are really powerful in helping you to have that really fulfilling retirement and just mindset in general. And that is contributions, like finding a purpose, like to do, go out and do something that you feel is meaningful. The second one is connections, and that is connections with people, having that community, finding clubs or people who have similar interests. And then the third one is that creativity and curiosity, and that's like that mental state of just still asking questions and being curious about the world, learning new things. So all three of those really tie together and really help to solidify your mental health, and are so powerful in that, and really important to plan for before you retire. So start thinking about that now and watch that video.
We're back on the trail. So, the last thing we want to talk about is kind of that preventative care. That's one of the things, also one of the things I've had to work on over the years. I've never been the best at going to the doctor regularly and getting a checkup every single year. So moving forward, that's one of the things that I'm working on. I want to make sure that, I'm in, top physical health as much as I can, by the time I get to retirement in a couple of years, so we can go out and do all the things that we're doing now. And, that's scheduling those checkups each and every year. Getting that blood work done, that's a really important thing. Make sure you're getting your blood work done each and every year, because that's what's going to really tell, if you have any issues, anything like that. And then the things we've been talking about, just keeping your physical activity up,
Yeah. So preventative is really important. I know for years, I really didn't take care of that. Being a busy mom and a teacher, it is hard to get out of the classroom to go to doctor's appointments when you're a teacher. So you just kind of let it slide by. And so, but I have really worked towards trying to be proactive and going and getting all these checkups and making sure that I'm as healthy as I can be, especially leading into retirement. Like blood work's super important. Like found out that like my iron level was like, I didn't know, but it was critically low. I had to get actually iron infusions because it was so low. So yeah, get checked out. And another important part of preventative care is making sure that you get plenty of sleep. Sleep is so critical in life, not just in retirement or pre-retirement, but just in general. It is super important. And I know it's sometimes hard when we're working and busy. We have busy lives, and the alarm clock is waking us up when we're not ready to be woken up. But just setting a consistent bedtime. The best thing is to always wake up at the same time every day. That's from research that I've looked into. It says, having consistency there. And everybody's a little bit different with how many hours of sleep they need. So just make sure that you get the appropriate hours of sleep for yourself.
And that's one that Katrina really stays on me about, because
he doesn't sleep much.
I sleep. It's just, and I do. Even on the weekends, I'm usually up 6:30, just like my work schedule. I used to be able to stay up later at night, but I'm usually in bed by 9:30. And, I usually get a good 7-8 hours of sleep every night. So I feel good. So, but
I need 9 hours of sleep. Just note.
So, one of the last things about this we want to talk about is, and a lot of people forget about this, is your dental health. That's, you don't realize how much your dental health is tied to your overall physical, and just, your overall health. And so it affects, when your dental health isn't good, people don't realize how, what other, parts of your body that affects. People who have, I didn't even realize this a while back, I know somebody that's actually got to have hip surgery, and they have to actually go in and have something checked with their teeth to make sure that they're able to have this hip surgery, because I guess there's chances for, infections, things like that. And so that's not, I never would have thought something like that. And so you don't realize how much your teeth and your dental health are tied to your overall health. So
they really are. And I've actually watched a podcast that talked about like a oral health specialist and how much our oral health is tied to our overall well-being. So just take care of your teeth. And one last thing on preventative is drink plenty of water. So stay hydrated. This is from my daughter, who is a physician, and she said, I asked her the other day, like, what do people need to know to stay healthy? And she said one of the biggest things is to stay hydrated. That all of our systems in our body rely on that hydration. So make sure you get that plenty of water every day.
Absolutely.
Okay, so those are the 4 pillars of staying healthy in your older age, or really in life. But to help you get prepared for retirement, or if you're already in retirement, if you lean on those 4 pillars, you will be doing awesome. And to recap, those 4 pillars are physical activity and exercise. Get out and walk. Be out in nature. Number 2 is your nutrition and your diet. Number 3 is your emotional and mental well-being. And number 4 is that preventative care.
Yeah. So, I know it seems like a lot, but it's not. It's just every one of these things that we've talked about, it's just small changes. So, just really kind of, think about what we've talked about here, what we've been discussing, and just try to, go ahead and make some of those small changes that we've talked about. It's not anything big, not joining a gym, not, joining some, group or anything like that. It's just making those small changes in your life that will eventually become habits, and it will help in your overall health. So if you guys like what you've heard today, please give us a like. We'd love to hear from you guys. So any comments that you have, any suggestions. I mean, we're by no means any experts here. So
yeah, we're not the healthiest people in the world either.
No,
we're not trying to say that. We're trying to work on our health too. We have areas that we're working on as well.
Absolutely. So if you guys have any suggestions for us, we'd love to hear from you. So that's why we want to hear these comments, and we'd love for you to share what you've heard here today too, if you think that would help someone else, because that's why that's one of the biggest things, one of the biggest reasons we started this channel, is to try to help others. And so
to inspire you to get out there and enjoy your life and enjoy your retirement.
Absolutely. So with that said, I'm John.
I'm Katrina.
And we'll see you on the trail.
See you on the trail. No, I thought you were going to talk about it. Okay.
So okay, so the 4th?
No, this is the 3rd.
The 3rd.
All right, so those are the 4 keys of staying healthy. And well, I guess you'd say those are the, okay.